Hope everyone's having a great Saturday morning. My name is Leonard Thomas. I have been in real estate for over 33 years. I've helped probably close to 1,500 families buy, sell, invest, and lease real estate. And my real estate channel is going to be a little different than a lot of the social media channels you'll see by realtors out there. I'm not really looking for home buyers and home sellers, although if that happens, fantastic. Really, my social media is designed around helping other realtors in their business. I've been training agents for almost 3 decades. So I love giving back to the real estate community and trying to help other realtors learn from the mistakes that I've made, all the mistakes that I've made in doing this for almost 33 years. So if you're joining us, thanks so much. Hi, Meme. Hi, Beverly. If you're in real estate and watching right now, please give me a question in the comments. Let me know. Hi, Michaela in Tampa and Julian. Let me know any questions you might have in your real estate business, and you can take it from this old guy who's been doing it for over 33 years. And if you're not in real estate, but you've joined us live this morning and you have a question about buying a home or selling a home, feel free to ask me. Hi, Jerry. Hi, Martinez. Hi, T. Winters. So if anyone has a question about real estate, if you're hi Frankie D, if you're a realtor and you have a question about open houses, pricing, listing reductions, hi Lisa, about how to satisfy the home buying needs of a home buyer or a home seller. Hi Deborah and C2BH. And hi, Sierra. Please just ask any questions in the comments. And if you're not in real estate, but you joined us this morning, but you have a question about buying a home or selling a home, please feel free to ask the question down in comments. Michaela, it looks like you're a realtor. Where in, you're a Tampa Bay realtor. So we went live yesterday and we talked quite a while with a Florida realtor. I understand listings in Florida, as a lot of markets, they're sitting on the market just a little longer. Michaela, is that your experience? Hi, Adela. Hi, Jerry. And I think the agent we talked to yesterday was from Palm Beach. Hi, Trell. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Romuli. So I'm a Texas Real Estate Commission approved legal and ethic instructor, and I did a class just a few days ago on open houses. And I'd be interested to know, people watching today, whether you're in real estate or not, what your perspective or what your opinion is of open houses. So if you're watching our live right now, I'd be very interested to know what your take was on open houses, what market you're in, and if you think open houses are useful. Hi, Rena. Hi, JDZ. Hi, Guy and KC. Hi, Blondie. Hi, Vernon. Thanks for joining this morning. My name is Leonard. I've been selling homes for over 33 years, and my live is about answering any. Thanks, Alex. Appreciate seeing you. And thanks for the comment this morning. Hi, Joe. Hi, Fred. Hi, Victor. So if anyone has any questions about real estate, if you're in real estate and you have questions about open houses, listings, price reductions, about anything, that's what this channel is about. That's what this live is about. If you're watching us this morning, but you're not in real estate, but you have a question about the home buying process or the home selling process, please just ask your question down in the comments. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Lori. Does anyone have any questions about home buying or home selling? Hi, Fred. Hi, Joe. Fuzzy Laces. Okay, so real estate is a fantastic business in the sense that anytime you want to give yourself a promotion in real estate, you can by waking up and deciding that you're going to meet more people needing to buy or sell a home. You can decide any single day whether you're going to take the day off because you don't have a boss, you don't have set hours. So it's great in that you don't have a boss, you don't have set hours, but you also find out that it's a bit of a trap not having a boss, because if there's no one to tell you, go do the things you have to do to be successful in real estate, it's very easy to take a day off, go golfing, go to the park, go hang out with friends. So it's super important that, getting into real estate, it can be very, very rewarding in the fact that you get to make relationships with a lot of people. You get to help families with sometimes the absolute biggest purchase in their life. But there's a lot of ways to get sidetracked in real estate because you don't have a boss, you don't have any system of accountability except with yourself, which is why I don't know what the exact number is, but I would guess probably over 50% of all real estate agents that get in the business are probably out of the business within 12 to 18 months because, from the outside looking in, and I'm not glorifying the business at all, but from the outside looking in, most people think realtors, well, they're right. We don't have bosses. We work when we want to. But the other part of that is if you're not working, you're not meeting people, you're not helping people buy and sell homes. And if you're not helping people buy and sell homes, you're not making any money. So I think a lot of people see realtors from the outside, again, not glorifying the real estate profession at all. I'm just saying I think the disconnect between the outside and the inside of the business, in that we just show a couple of houses and we cash really big checks. And anyone that's been in real estate for 6 months, maybe even just for 3 months, knows that's definitely not what it's about. So I hope that answered your question, Fuzzy Laces. Hi, Kenny. Thanks for joining. Hi, Fred. Hi, John and MLW. For those just joining, my name is Leonard. I've been selling homes for over 33 years, and I've been training agents for almost that long. And so my social media videos that I just started 7 or 8 weeks ago are really designed to try to help other realtors scale up their business, do their processes better, help you with your home buyers and your home sellers. So if you're watching this morning and you're in real estate and you have any questions about your business or how I do mine, please ask down in the comments. If you're watching us this morning and you're not in real estate, welcome. You might have a question about the home buying or the home selling process. Hi, Nita. How do you generate leads? So it's a trick question. So I've been doing this for 30, and it's a great question, by the way. I've been doing this for 33 years, and how I generate leads, having done this for 33 years and helped 1,500 families, is going to be a little different than maybe a new agent. So if you want to let me know what your market is and how long you've been doing it, maybe I can give you a more specific answer. But for most agents, especially new agents, I think the absolute best way to come into contact with people needing to buy or sell a home is open houses. And again, every market's going to be a little different. I'm in Dallas, Texas, so we have a lot of suburbs, we have a lot of population, we have a lot of subdivisions. So doing an open house correctly, and there's a big difference between holding an open house and really holding an open house, and I'm happy to talk about that if you'd like. But I think holding open houses is the absolute best way for newer agents to come into contact with people that probably don't have a realtor and probably need your services. Oklahoma City. Okay, so I'm just south of you there. So Oklahoma City is a huge city, lots of people, lots of subdivisions. I think you also have a lot of building going on and have had new homes going up. So you have a lot of people up there. So I would say absolutely the number one way for newish agents in a big city like OKC is open houses. And if you're not following, anyone watching, thank you so much. If you're a new agent, you have questions about how to be a successful agent, new or otherwise, I hope you'll follow my channel, because my channel isn't designed to get home buyers and home selling clients. It's designed to help agents. I've been training agents for over 30 years. So I think open houses done correctly are the best way for you to meet new people. Hosting open houses correctly, yes. So Nita, I'm actually a Texas Real Estate Commission approved real estate instructor, and I've been teaching lots of classes for almost 3 decades. And my favorite class, and one of my more popular classes, is open houses, because I'm a huge, huge fan of open houses. And again, if you haven't followed me yet, and I'm not doing this live to get followers, but I want to let you know, if I don't answer all of your question, I have a lot of videos on how to do, in my opinion, how to do open houses correctly or better or more successfully. But I'll give you the top 3 things, Nita, and they are these. The first thing that I think differentiates my open houses from a lot of other open houses is, and the first 2 are going to be sort of cliche and commonsensical, but having done this over 33 years, I can tell you this is why it's so important. So number 1 is the number of open house signs you put up. Most realtors, not all, and if you all are watching me and you put up tons of signs, fantastic. I'm not talking talking to you, but most realtors will only put up 3 or 4, 5 open house signs. My open houses, I generally do at least 10 to 12, and I've done over 20 open house signs before. The more signs you put up, obviously, the more people, the better the chance people are going to see the signs and come to your open house. So number one, as many signs as possible. And again, mostly common sense. Number two, it's how long you're there. If you get on your multiple listing service or you get on Zillow or any other .com and you look at the time period of most open houses, I'm making this number up, but I'm guessing 90% of the open houses that realtors hold open are 2 hours long. In my opinion, the open house should be at least 3 hours long. And when I was new in the business, I regularly did 4 and 5 hour open houses. I would often do 2 open houses in one day. I would do like 10 to 1. Go pick up the signs, put them down, and do 2 to 5. So first two things, more signs. Second thing, more hours. And then here's I hope you're still on, Nita. I can't always see who's watching, but here is, I think, probably the one technique that has helped me help the most amount of people coming into my open house. And again, there's a video on it somewhere. This one might even be, I don't think this one's pinned on my account, but I call it the 3 up, 3 down technique. And this is how it works. At my open houses, I generally get 10 to 20 groups of people through, but let's pick a number in the middle. Let's say there's 15 groups of people that come to my open houses on average. Well, if I'm holding an $800,000 house open down here in Dallas, and I have 15 groups of people come through my 3 or 4 or 5 hour open house, the chances that that home is in the price range that that person is looking for, that has a floor plan that they're looking for, that is the square footage that they're looking for, that has all the amenities that they're looking for, the chances that it matches exactly aren't high, right? And I'm not saying that you're going to sell every listing that you hold open, but my experience is maybe 2, 3, or 4 of the 15 groups are looking for roughly that price range and roughly that home. Well, if you have 15 groups through and only 3 or 4 really are looking for that size, that priced home, that means there's probably 10 or 11 groups of people that are going to show up at your open house, and they're looking for something either smaller or they're looking for something bigger. And if they're at your open house, there's something about that neighborhood, that area, that subdivision, that city that they like. So knowing that you're going to have an open house where you're going to run into people that are going to be looking for homes that are less expensive and looking for homes that are more expensive, this is the technique: 3 up and 3 down. So if you're holding an $800,000 house open in some subdivision up there in Oklahoma City, I want you to find 3 homes nearby that are less expensive. Let's say between 600 and 750, for example. And then I want you to find 3 homes that are more expensive. Let's say 850 to $1 million. And I want you to go preview all 6 of those homes. I want you to really research and memorize certain things about those homes so that when someone comes into your open house, after you figure out that that home isn't what they're looking for, let's say, again, you're holding an $800,000 listing open and they're only approved up to $650,000, instead of trying to get their name and number or, and then go do some homework like every other realtor does. Again, most realtors in the open house, when they have that situation, someone comes into their open house, but the person that came into the open house is looking for something less expensive. They say, well, if you want to give me your name and number, I'm happy to do some homework and follow up with you. And I just think that's how everyone sounds. And since you already know you're going to run into people that are going to be looking for something smaller or something bigger, go figure that out before you show up. And then when they come to your open house and they go, wow, we really like this neighborhood, but we're only approved up to 650, you remember one of those 3 houses that you've already previewed, you've already done the homework. And then you could say to them, well, that's fantastic. You may already know this, but there's a home 3 streets down at 1200 Breckenridge Boulevard. It's a little smaller than this one. It's only 2,875 square feet. It was built in 1996. They have a gorgeous kitchen, though. They've updated it a bunch. They put in stainless steel appliances. They have the quartz countertops, and they're only asking $650,000. In fact, my open house is over at 4:00. I'm happy to show you at 4:30 if that's something you might be interested in. So you see the big difference between most realtors at an open house. If someone walks in and that person is looking for a home, but it's not the one they're holding open, what do they try to do? They either try to do nothing because they don't know what to do and the person leaves, or a realtor who's a little experienced may say, wow, if I can get your name and number, I can do some homework, I can call you back. If you want to be super successful, what you do is you want to create value for every single person coming into your open house. You're not trying to sell them on anything. You're trying to create value and provide value to them by immediately talking about a home in the area, less expensive, that matches what they're looking for. And I think if you approach your open houses that way, you're going to have much, much more successful open houses, because I I've taught my open house class, I don't know, 50 times maybe in the last 20 years, and I've done videos on it, and I will get a lot of realtors either in my classes or in the comments of these videos saying open houses don't work. They're only a way for the listing agent to get more leads, and I disagree that they don't work. I agree that a listing agent or whoever holds a house open may get other leads, but I disagree that they're not a great way to perhaps sell that house, because I sell my listings through the open house 2 to 5 times every year. It's already happened once this year, and we're only in April. So I hope, oh, do I have a sign-in sheet? I don't like sign-in sheets. I'm not a fan of sign-in sheets. And there's lots of ways to be successful in real estate, not just my way. I've been doing it a long time. Obviously, I'm a little set in the way I do things, so I'm not judging anyone that uses a sign-in sheet. But here's why I don't like them. People coming into your open house didn't just leave their home 30 minutes prior, get into their car, come to your open house, see the house, get back in their car and go back home. A lot of times buyers will go see lots of open houses. They'll go to your open house, they'll go to one around the corner, and especially in this market where we are listing heavy, and especially in this market where we're getting to the end of the school year and listings are going to start popping up like weeds everywhere, there's going to be so many open houses. So people coming into your open house as we get towards the end of the school year, they're probably looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 open houses that day. And what do you think every single agent is doing at those open houses? They all have a sign-in sheet. And the people walk in, and what do most realtors say? They say, for my safety and the safety of the sellers, they've asked me to get the name and number of everyone that's walked in. And I'm not judging any realtor that does it that way. I just think you haven't created any value for these people, and asking them to put their name, their email address, their cell phone number down just so that they can have a bunch of realtors calling them for the next however many weeks. And again, you're not the only realtor they talk to that day, probably. You're either not going to get correct information, or they're not going to want to write it down at all. So my point is, create so much value in your interaction with them that before they walk out the door, they're asking to give you their name and number. And that's where at a minimum, the 3 up, 3 down technique's going to, in my opinion, has helped me, and in my experience has helped me to where when people are walking out of my open house, not every single one, of course, but if I create enough value before they walk out, they're waiting to talk to me, to give me their contact information so that I can help them with what they're trying to accomplish. Nita, does all of that make sense? Hi, Michelle. Hi, Abby. Thanks for joining. And for the new people, hi, J to the T. For the new people, thanks so much, Nita. And I hope you follow the account, look at the other videos, and please feel free to reach out if there's anything more specific I can help with. For the other people that are just joining, quick introduction. My name is Leonard Thomas. I've been selling homes for over 33 years, and I've been training agents for almost that long. I just started doing social media videos about 6, 7 weeks ago. And my channel is a little different than most real estate channels out there in that I'm not looking for buyers and sellers through my videos. I'm actually trying to help other agents scale their business. I'm putting videos out there so that hopefully other agents can learn from the mistakes I've made. So if you're watching this morning, Belinda, thank you. If you're watching this morning, please and you're in real estate, please ask me a question in the comments. I'm happy to try to answer. And if you're not in real estate, but you're watching this morning, please ask me a question about buying a home, selling a home, inspections, option periods. I'm in Dallas, Texas. Your market may be different, but I'm happy to. Thanks so much, Black Car. I'm very happy to answer any questions you might have. Hi, Whitney. Good morning. Hi, Alex. You're a realtor, SA, San Antonio. Are we both in Texas, Alex? Hi, JP Cards. Good morning. Hi, Mimi. Good morning. So anyone joining us, thank you so much. If you have a question about real estate, please ask it in the comments. And even if you're not a realtor, hi, Mimi, good morning. Mimi, are you in real estate? And if so, what's your market? Nita asks, what are the pros and cons of having a relationship with lenders and title companies? Awesome question. Okay. Now, I will preface my answer with this. Um, my answer might be different than what your broker or your manager is going to say to you. So, I am a very, very loyal person, and I am a very OCD, want to have as much information for my clients as possible, very type A, obviously, personality. So I'm a big fan of having a lender or two where I've met with them, they know my expectations in the process, they know what I expect from a transaction if I refer them to my clients. I have an inspector or two that, again, know my expectations, know what I'm looking for in the process. I have one title company closer that she's my work wife, to be very honest with you. I do just with her probably 40, 50 deals a year, and she knows my process. So to answer your question directly, I'm a big fan. To me, there are no cons to having relationships with lenders, title companies, inspectors, plumbers, with all vendors. In fact, having done this over 33 years, Nita, and probably helped close to 1,500 families buy, sell, lease, or invest in real estate. I'm they just everyone contacts me about almost anything because I always have a guy. And yes, my guy is sometimes a gal, but my clients over time, I'll get a text every other day from a client over the last 33 years. Well, they'll say, hey, our water heater just did this. Do you have a plumber? Yeah, because I got a guy. Or, hey, I need an electrician or an AC person or whatever. So I think it's really important that you do have your crew. But one of the most important parts of having a crew is that they understand what it is you expect when you refer them to your clients. So very, very important to have those relationships. Do you coach or mentor people? I do a lot of classes. That's a lie. Uh, 10 years ago, up until about 10 years ago, I was invited to title companies. I was invited to other brokerages to train their agents how to do everything from negotiation, marketing listings, open houses, explaining listing agreements and contracts. And then most of the last 10 years, just between the ages of my kids, business getting busy, in the last 5 years, and I don't do a lot of videos and I don't talk about top producers or rankings or anything, but I sell a bunch of houses. And so just from a timing standpoint, have not been able to do a lot of the giving back to the community through training classes and what have you in the last 10 years. And I'm just now getting to a point where I can do that again. So I coach and mentor lots of folks. And if you're interested, I'd love to help any way I can. Feel free to shoot me a DM or join the newsletter. There should be a link somewhere on TikTok, maybe in the bio. I'd love to help any way I can, but you're also welcome to always jump on the live and just ask questions here. Not My channel isn't to try to get coaching clients or any clients for that matter. I just love giving back to the real estate community and training other agents because I've made so many mistakes in my 33-year career that I just love other people learning from them so that they don't make them too. Hi, Bubblesworth. Thanks for joining. Well, I'll ask you, Nita, what do you do right now up in OKC, on a daily basis what do you do in your business right now, Nita? Do you do open houses right now, Nita? Okay, so at some point, let me know if you do open houses. Let me talk about postcards. And again, not pitching my videos, but I did a video about marketing. Here's the important thing about postcards or any marketing for that point. Don't send out postcards. Don't do any marketing until you know what the 9 steps you're going to do after you do the first step. And what I mean by that is this. A lot of realtors, especially when they first get in the business, they will try something they either see a YouTube video on or they've heard their broker or manager talk about, like sending out postcards. But what happens to a lot of realtors is they will send out, let's say, 100 postcards, And then they sort of just metaphorically, figuratively, almost literally, they go back to the office and they wait for the phone to ring, right? And I think it's really important that before you do that first step, figure out what your next 9 steps are so that you're not just doing that first step and then waiting to see what happens. And this is what it might look like. So let's say you're sending out 100 postcards to the neighborhood you live in or a certain subdivision that you would like to get some business from. So your game plan might be, okay, on day 1 of my marketing plan, I'm going to send out these postcards. It takes 3 or 4 days to get that for the people to get those postcards. So on day 5, which means 4 days after you send out the postcards, you're going to go knock on 20 doors in that neighborhood. And whatever you're going to say to those people, hey, my name is Nita with ABC Realty, and I sent out a postcard recently with this information. I just wanted to stop by, introduce myself. Hope you're having a great day. And that's it. So on step 5, you're going to introduce yourself. You're going to go knock on 20 doors, and you're going to introduce yourself to you're going to introduce yourself. Let's say on day 8, you're going to hold an open house in that subdivision. So that's step 3. And then the day after your open house, day 9, you're going to go knock on 20 different doors. You're going to say, hey, I held an open house yesterday for your neighbors around the corner, and I just wanted to give you a brochure in case you know of any. So then you have day 6. I'm going to send out a second postcard, or I'm going to go knock on 20 more days. So have 10 steps, have a calendar written out of what your 10, and I'm making the number 10 up. Don't have it be one step. I don't think 5 is enough steps to see if it's working. There's almost nothing you can do where it's one step and people are going to be knocking down your front door trying to get you to list and sell homes with them, right? So I think you got to have at least 10 steps in your marketing plan. So don't send out your postcards until you have 9 more steps, because I think personally, that's just going to be a waste of your time and a waste of your money. Okay, Nita, I'm going to embarrass myself. I'm going to tell you a story. 31 years ago, so about 2 years, maybe longer, 32 years ago. So I was only in the business maybe 1 or 2 years down here in Plano, Texas. You may know Plano, Texas, just a couple of hours south of you. I was the person, I told you my videos are about helping other agents not make the mistakes I've made. Well, I've made the mistake. This is why I'm telling you, don't send out your postcards unless you have 9 more steps, because I sent out a postcard, probably 300, to, at the time, a very affluent neighborhood here in Plano, Texas. And man, I thought I was slick. I had a professional photograph. I had suspenders. Don't laugh at me, Nita. Suspenders were in 30-something years ago. And whatever phrase I had, new kid on the block, energy, all this, I literally sent out, it was probably 350. And then this is back before internet. And I went back to the office and literally almost just waited for people to start calling from the postcard. Nita, spoiler alert, you know how many people called me, right? 0. And then I just assumed postcards didn't work. So I told you 15, 20 minutes ago that my training, the videos that I've posted online now for 6 or 7 weeks aren't about finding clients. It's about really trying to help agents learn from the mistakes I've made. So I am telling you, don't send out 100 postcards until you have 9 more steps. And if you want help with the steps, talk to your broker manager, your team leader, or feel free to send me an email or a DM. I'm happy to help you with the other 9 steps. Hi, Glenn. Hi, Christy. Hi, N. Thanks for joining. We have a bunch of new followers. Thanks so much. Quick introduction. My name is Leonard Thomas. I have been selling homes for over 33 years. I have helped probably close to 1,500 families buy, sell, lease, and invest in real estate. I just started doing social media videos about 7 weeks ago, and my channel is a little different than most real estate people's channels in that I'm not really looking for buyers and sellers. My videos are all for other agents. I've been training agents for decades, and I love giving back to the real estate community, and I want agents to learn from all the mistakes that I've made in my 3+ decade career. So if you're joining us this morning, thank you so much. If you're in real estate, please ask me any question down in the comments about real estate, about open houses, negotiations, price reductions, anything you want to talk about. And if you're watching today and you're not in real estate, fantastic. Ask me questions about buying a home or selling a home. I'll try to answer it. Nita, I'm going to give you, and anyone else watching, if you're in real estate, Here's something really important, Nita, okay? And there's a video on it as usual. It's a little bit about time management, because when you're new in the business, you don't have a boss, you don't have set hours, it's really easy to get off track. So I'm going to give you a little bit of help with time management, Nita, if you don't mind, okay? In my opinion, and one of the classes I teach, organization and time management, is there's 4 types of time in real estate as a realtor, okay? A time, B time, C time, and D time. A time, and don't write it down, Nita. I'm being presumptuous like you would write it down. There's a video on it, okay? So A time is any time that you are face to face with someone thinking of buying or selling a home, okay? And as a realtor, that means you're showing homes, you're on a listing presentation, or you're having a buyer interview, or you're having a seller interview. And an interview means that they're interviewing agents and you meet at a coffee shop to discuss selling their home, or you meet with a buyer, they're interviewing agents, you meet somewhere to discuss your process. So A time is face to face with someone thinking of buying a home or selling a home. That's A time. B time is anything you do in real estate that leads to A time. And we have a word for this in real estate. Nita, do you know what it is? Say it to yourself, say it out loud. It's called prospecting. Holding open houses is B time. Door knocking, B time. Reaching out to your sphere of influence is B time. So anything that you do that can lead to a face-to-face appointment with a buyer or seller, that's called B time. C time is real estate busy work, doing market analysis, preparing a listing presentation, previewing homes, going to the office, going to meetings, meeting with a title company, doing continuing education, watching a YouTube video, not my YouTube videos, obviously, but other YouTube videos, kidding. So C time is anything that you would do at the office. Now, very important, I'm not saying that C time is silly, dumb, wasteful, unimportant. One of the things I said in C time was preparing for a listing presentation. That's hugely important because A time, listing presentation, you can't go do that listing presentation without putting the presentation together, without previewing the home. So again, I'm not saying C time is unimportant or stupid, but I am saying it's the least productive of the time you are, of the ABCD time in real estate time management. D time is free time. D time is what you spend with your family, hobbies, fun, vacations, days off. Not that we have those in real estate. D time is the reason we work so hard in real estate. So, Nita, what I want you to do, and don't write your answer in the comments, but maybe every Sunday night, take out a piece of paper and on the paper write the letter A, B, C, D. Write it down like this. And if you sleep 8 hours a night, which no one does, but if you do, that means there are 112 waking hours every 7 days. And what I want you to do every Sunday night is write down in the last 7 days how many hours did I do A time? How many hours did I spend in the last 7 days on in a listing presentation, or showing buyers homes, or meeting with a buyer in an interview, or meeting with a potential seller interview, and write down your answer. And then I want you to say, okay, how many hours did I spend in the last 7 days prospecting, open houses, door knocking, calling or reaching out to your sphere of influence, and write down a number. And then I want you to write down, okay, in the last 7 days, how many hours did I spend doing real estate busy work in the office, training, meetings, previewing homes, reading over contracts, studying contracts, driving around, watching real estate videos. Again, not my videos, but other people's videos, and write down the number. And then be honest and write down under D, that wasn't a D, under D, how many hours did you spend in the last 7 days not doing real estate, spending time with family, going to kids' sporting events, going on dates, going to dinner, vacationing, or just doing nothing, watching the 5th season of You on Netflix, right? How many hours? And it should add up to however many waking hours you have in a week. If you do that every Sunday, if a realtor, I'm not going to say you specifically, Nita, but most realtors, if they did that every Sunday and they were honest, they would probably cry. Because in my experience, because I've taught time management and organization, I've taught this class for decades, and I have everyone write it down, and I don't embarrass anyone. I say who's willing to share, or I'll say if you're willing to share, like for the answer for A time, how many people had zero, only if you're willing to share. And a lot of people, they're there to learn, and a lot of people put their hand up, right? Because most agents have 0 hours in front of a buyer or seller the previous 7 days. Spoiler alert, as a realtor, if not you, when I say you, Nita, but spoiler alert, if you are in real estate and are not in front of a buyer or seller, that means you are not helping anyone buy or sell, which means you are not getting paid to help anyone buy or sell. It is hard to be successful in real estate, and not you, Nita. Your answer be zero for A time. But I'll tell you what, if you as a realtor, if your answer is zero for A time, your answer for B time better be really high. If you're not face to face with a buyer or seller, you better be doing everything you can to get face to face with a buyer or seller. So, open houses, and again, I keep saying you, Nita, I'm not picking on you. I love you, Nita. I don't even know who you are, but I'm trying to help you, and I'm trying to help you from my 33 years of doing this. If you are not having a big number for A time, hold open houses if you can. Call your sphere of influence, door knock, do as many things as you can to lead to A time. But when I teach this class, or back when I taught this class a lot, again, I'd say only if you're comfortable. How many people have a number close to zero for B time? And most of the people in the classroom raise their hand. And then of course I get to C time and I say, how many people have, everyone put your hand up if you had an answer more than 10 hours for C time. Everyone puts their hand up. Leave your hand up if it's more than 20 hours. Everyone leaves their hand up. 30 hours, 40, and slowly they put it down. And so I teach this class, and almost everyone in the class would have zero for A time, zero for B time, humongous number for C time, and then a humongous number for T time, which is full circle. Not trying to embarrass anyone watching right now, but here's the point. To be successful in real estate, to have a long career in real estate, you have to focus on the A time. You have to be in front of someone thinking of buying or selling a home. You can't sell shoes if you're not in front of someone that wants to buy shoes. You can't do anything if you're not in front of the person that has the want need for the service you're providing, right? So you have to be out there face to face with home buyers and home sellers. And if you're not face to face with a home buyer and a home seller, and let's be honest, I've been doing this 33 years. In the last 5 years, I've averaged almost $1 million a year in gross commissions. I'm not making videos of things that I found on Google or ChatGPT. I'm making videos of things that I'm out there doing every day. Maybe I did it every day more 10 years ago when I was a younger person, but everything I do videos on, I'm out there doing or have done, okay? So even I can't do A time 40 hours a week. That'd be 30 listing presentations and lots of showings. And I'm at the age, and I have grandkids. I want to, I have a lot of D time because I've worked for 33 years to get to the point where I can have D time, right? But back in the day where I was grinding it out, where a lot of new agents are grinding it out, you're not going to have 10 hours or 20 hours of A time. It's just generally unrealistic. But if I wasn't doing A time, it was definitely going to be B time. I would hold open houses Saturday. I would hold open houses Sunday. I've held 2 open houses on a Saturday before. I've held it during the week before. One of the most successful realtors I ever met, probably 26, 27 years ago, held 300 plus open houses a year. He had open house signs in his trunk, and almost every day, rush hour, he would find a vacant listing in the office, and he'd just hold it open for an hour or two because it's just such a fantastic way to meet buyers and sellers. Okay, so Nita, if you're still watching, I haven't been watching comments because I get a little passionate about topics, especially open houses. I love this one. It's just really important that you focus as much energy and time as possible on A time. If it's not A time, it better be B time prospecting. Most new agents spend, honestly, even seasoned agents, they spend an inordinate amount of time at the office. Spoiler alert, everyone watching. No one at your office is going to buy or sell a home from you. And I'm not saying there's not value at your office. You can definitely learn from the more experienced agents in the office. But at the end of the day, I need you to get out of your office, get out from behind your desk. If you work from home, you need to leave your house. You need to go get out there, meet with the people, whether it's open houses, knocking on doors. Just go have as much A and B time as possible. So, sorry, haven't seen the comments. If you're new to watching the channel here in the last 10 minutes as I got up on my open house soapbox, thanks so much. Okay, so someone said, okay, would I recommend real estate in this market climate as a side hustle? Um, yes, but with a big asterisk. So hear me out. I wouldn't recommend trying to become a full-time realtor as a side hustle, because it is almost impossible for you to create value and service a customer the way they should be serviced. Don't read between those lines. And what I mean by that is this: if you work a 9 to 5 job and there is a new listing that hits the market that meets the criteria of a home buyer you're working with, I don't know what your market is. Feel free forever to let me know what market you're in. But in my market, I'm in Dallas, Texas. If it's an awesome house, very updated, it might go fairly quickly. Now, again, there's a glut of listings and it's a buyer's market for the most part. But the homes that still sell very, very quickly are the ones that are all HGTV'd out, that have been updated, upgraded, granite, white walls, even though white's now going out again. But if it's super updated, it may sell very quickly. And if you have a 9 to 5 job and this house hits the market at, let's say, 9:30 in the morning, and your client reaches out and says, "Hey, I really want to see this," and you're like, "All right, well, I work until this," and I'm not saying it might be under contract by 6 o'clock when you get out there, although it's definitely happened. But it's just hard to give them the service they need. But here's what you can do as a side hustle and make some money. You can be a lead generator for another realtor. And this is what it would look like. If you have a 9 to 5 job, you get your real estate license, but you don't work on the weekends. You can hold an open house, pick a vacant listing so you're not kicking a home seller out. You can hold an open house, let's say from 10 in the morning, 9 in the morning to 6 p.m. at night. You can become an open house expert, at trying to sell that home. And if they walk into the open house and they're not interested in that home, you become an expert at trying to create value and figure out what their wants and needs are, so that you can then hand this person off to a more experienced agent in the office, or some agent that you create a relationship with, to where you are basically a lead generator for them. And if that, you can work out any arrangement you want with them, as far as maybe you get paid per lead, or maybe you get paid a referral if that lead turns into something. But having been in the business for over 33 years, I have to say, if you were in Dallas, I would definitely be open to talking with someone that just was almost like a host at an open house all weekend, meeting people with home buying and home selling needs, and then creating rapport, creating initial value with those people, and then handing them off to me, to where I then, because I'm full time, then I can go service those wants and needs better. So forever, does that make sense? Did I answer the question? Oh, Huide, I got your name correct. That's impossible. They say even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. So I got lucky. But forever, did that answer your question? And anyone new that's watching this morning, quick introduction. My name is Leonard Thomas. I have been selling homes for over 33 years. I've helped probably close to 1,500 families buy, sell, lease, and invest in real estate. And I've been training agents for almost that long. I just started doing social media videos about 6, 7 weeks ago. And my channel is going to be very different than almost any other realtor's channel on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, in that I'm not really looking for home buying and home selling clients. My videos are geared more towards other realtors and trying to help other realtors scale their business. Most of my videos are born from mistakes that I've made in real estate, and then I do a video on it to try to help other agents learn from the mistakes I've made so that you don't make it, so that you can become successful faster. So forever. So how do I differentiate my search from realtors in my chosen market when I'm just starting off? That's a fantastic question. So whether you're just starting off or not just starting off, I'm going to answer the question, how do you differentiate your services no matter what? I'm going to be cliche and then I'm going to try to be specific. Okay. Okay. So one of the things that I sort of, one of my guiding principles in my business that I started over 30 years ago is whatever most realtors were doing, I tried really hard to basically do the opposite. And this is the reason. The average realtor, I don't know what the latest statistics are, but forever, the average realtor, sold 2 or 3, 4 houses a year, probably made, and again, these numbers might be 4, 5, 6 years old, but the average realtor for a long time, as I was doing my business, made $20,000 a year, 15,000, 25, not a lot a year, but so consequently, whatever the average realtor was doing, I definitely didn't want to do that because my goals were always to make, 10, 20 times that. So one of the ways you can differentiate yourself forever is that you always want to create value for the home buyer, the potential home buyer, the potential home seller you're talking to. Most realtors, I think, just really try to make a connection, want to get the contact information, and then want to go do homework and then just sort of show houses. Do something different, do something more. Provide what I call 4 seasons level service. So if most agents just put a tour together or put their buyers on a automatic MLS search, be the realtor that doesn't put their buyers for good example. Sorry to jump. So most realtors, when they have a buyer client, what they do is they will set the buyer up in the multiple listing service on a search. They'll put all the criteria in for that buyer, and that buyer will get an automatic email either once a day, twice a day, automatically, as soon as a house that meets their wants and needs hits the market, right? Well, what I did for years and years and years and years is I didn't do that. I set myself up on the search as if I was that buyer, call it John Smith buyer, and I would get the email saying that, okay, here's a new listing that just hit the market that matched your buyer's, John Smith's criteria. And then what I would do is I would go look at the photos. I would see, if it actually did match all the criteria. Did it have the office downstairs? Did it have a big enough, it was called a master bedroom back then. Did it have a big enough primary bedroom or whatever I knew about the buyer? I would go look at the photos. And then if it matched enough of the criteria of my John Smith buyer, I'd go preview the home. I'd go look at it in person. I'd go figure out, did it have the updates they were looking for? I would go study. I would go in person and study the home. And then when I got back to my office, I would call my client and say, hey, just wanted to let you know, John, that a new home hit the market this morning, 1400 Winter Park Drive, and I'm going to send you some information about it, but I went and previewed it this morning. Absolutely gorgeous kitchen, just like you and your wife were talking about. It has the big island. It has the gas cooktop. I know you guys don't want electric. I don't know if the backyard's going to be big enough for you because the pool is off, and you start talking about the home because you've seen the home, not just photos on the MLS, not just photos in Zillow. Back then there wasn't a Zillow, but you talk to them about the house. You've created value that no other realtor's going, okay, maybe one other realtor, someone's going to get in my comments and go, I preview every home. Fantastic. You're the exception. You're the unicorn. Most realtors won't go that extra step. So if you're brand new in the business, you might be a super young guy, you have to create 4 seasons level service. So you go preview the home, you get back to your office, you call your buyer, you tell them all about it. You say, I went and previewed it this morning. It's in the price range. It checks a lot of your boxes, not all of them, but if you guys want to go see it this afternoon, let's go see it. That buyer, whether you've been in the business for 1 month or 25 years, that buyer is going to be blown away by that level of service. They're going to trust you more. You're going to create a better connection because you're creating value for that person. Now, there is no way to get around the fact that you've been in the business for 12 seconds and you might be 21 years old. When I first got in the business, I had just graduated college. I was 21 years old. I had scruffy. I don't shave, so I had the scruffy 33 years ago. I was driving probably a 15-year-old 2-door black Blazer. I was in a double-breasted suit. Don't laugh, double-breasted suits were in 33 years ago. And I was door knocking on for sale by owners all day, every day. So you can do it as a young person, you can do it as a new person in the business. But what I always try to do is provide Four Seasons level service with everyone and look around, see what other realtors are doing, and then just do the opposite for the most part. So I hope that was helpful. More people have joined. Thanks so much. If you're just joining, my name is Leonard Thomas. Quick introduction. My name is Leonard Thomas. I've been selling homes for over 33 years and training agents for almost that long. I've probably helped close to 1,500 families buy, sell, lease, and invest in real estate. I just started doing social media videos about 6 or 7 weeks ago, and my channel is a little different. I'm not looking for clients. I'm trying to help other agents. I love giving back to the real estate community, and I love other agents learning from my mistakes. I've taught a lot of hundreds of classes in the 33 plus years I've been doing this. So if you're just joining us, thank you so much. Please feel free to follow my channel. And if you're in real estate and you're watching us, please feel free to ask me any questions and comments. If you're not in real estate and you're watching this morning, ask me a question about buying a home or selling a home. I'm happy to try to answer it. Okay, so Kwok, you have done 6 transactions already out in California. That's fantastic. You're from San Jose. 1,000 years ago, I actually grew up right across the street from you in Hillsborough. But I've been in Texas now. I'm in Dallas. I've been in Texas most of the last 40 years. So doing 6 transactions in this market in your first year is absolutely fantastic. Um, uh, that's amazing. That's really, especially, I know house prices in California, in my opinion, are probably not, in my experience, are not inexpensive. So that's absolutely fantastic. And your question is, what are the best ways to prospect in your opinion? Um, I love open houses. Open houses, I think, are one of the absolute best ways for realtors to come into contact with people needing home buying and home selling services. Um, Out in California, especially San Jose, humongous population, very dense neighborhoods and subdivisions. So I would say the absolute best way for you out in California is open houses, especially if you've only been in the business a year. Do you do a bunch of open houses in San Jose, Kwok? Sorry, Forever and Kwok. While you're answering, Forever, AI and tech making the job easier. Okay, I get this question a lot, and I know a lot of realtors are nervous about AI and technology. Listen, when I got into business, into real estate in 1992, long before Al Gore invented the internet, long before cell phones and iPhones, we didn't even have we every week, twice a week, they would deliver MLS books because we didn't have an MLS. We had books that showed up twice a week. They were super thick. And that's where all the new listings were. That's where all the sold properties were. That's how old I am. They used to be in books. And, then we got internet and then everything was computerized and it's going to change real estate. And honestly, in my opinion, there have been changes for sure, but I don't think it's any different. At the end of the day, you have people wanting to buy homes. You have people wanting to sell homes. I'm not concerned with AI because at the end of the day, if you go onto Zillow, you see my reviews. Um, I have most of my business is by referral because I don't put my commission as I have most of my business is by referral because I don't put my commission ahead. And I don't think that's something AI can do right now. Yes, anybody can open the front door, but when it comes time to putting the interest of that home buyer, that home seller in front of being more important, prioritizing that over just getting paid, That's something that AI can't do. That's something that honestly a lot of realtors don't do, is putting the needs of their clients ahead of their own. So I'm not concerned with it. Part of it is I'm old. I'm not going to be doing this forever. And I'm at the point in my career where fortunately a lot of my business, most of my business is referrals from the over 1,000 people that I've already helped buy and sell a home in my career. But even as a new person getting into business, as long as you're providing Four Seasons level service and you're doing what everyone else isn't willing to do, and you're putting the interest of your client ahead of your own, I think you're going to be successful. And I'm not worried about AI and technology. And again, that could be cranky old grandfather energy coming from me right now, but that's my opinion on it. Oh, so four of your deals were from open houses and two from Zillow. That's fantastic. So, um, I am not a big Zillow fan today, but there was a time where Zillow was a very good lead generator for a lot of realtors. Not a fan today, used to be a bigger fan. So TikTok's telling me they're going to turn me off in about 2 minutes. So I'm going to thank everyone that's been watching. If I didn't get to your question, please feel free to follow my channel. I have Instagram channel, a YouTube. I have slightly longer videos on YouTube. I am going to be doing a lot more long videos on YouTube, listing presentations, buyer interviews, seller interviews. But if you have a question that I didn't get to today, please feel free to send me an email. If you want to, there's a link tree in my bio that goes to a newsletter that goes to my other social media platforms. I'm not going to spam you, but if there's any questions you have, I love helping agents, whether you're seasoned or new. Please send me an email or send me a DM and let me know how I can help. And Nita, good luck up in OKC. I hope I see you on live. And again, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks, Kwok, for joining. I hope everyone has a good weekend. Again, might go live again later this afternoon, so you might see me again, but I hope everyone has a great weekend, and I appreciate you all. Have a great weekend.